Top 5 of 2023, let's go! Mario Wonder was wondrous. Easily the best 2D Mario game I've ever finished, and I've finished like 2 of them. It's just bursting from the seams of ideas. There's more creativity and flair in an hour of this thing than there is in every single new Super Mario Bros. Game combined. There's a Goomba stealth level, a level where you drift through the stars dodging hippos. There's a singing piranha plant level. They put wonder in the title, and they fucking meant it. You will be grinning from ear to ear playing this game. Is it as good as Rayman Legends? No. Cocoon was pretty cool, a puzzle game about hopping in and out of pocket universes. It's not very difficult, you can breeze through it in an afternoon, but it's a game that just feels great to play. Jumping into a universe with that sound design and the rumble, it never gets old, it's always satisfying. Sons of the Forest was absolutely dreadful, and I loved every second of it. Someone stop him! So he's on a rampage! Get him! Jusant had some good climbing. Love me some good climbing. Against the Storm kept deleting my save data, but other than that, it was great. I finally got around to Disco Elysium, and god damn. 90% of the political commentary went straight over my head because I'm stupid. But the world building, and the atmosphere, and the writing, it's on a whole other level. There's moments in this game that will be burned deep into my mind for the rest of time. I will be thinking about this world until the day I die. Shame that we're never going to get another one. I got a lot of fun out of automation games this year, and by fun, I mean migraines. I really loved making people cannons in Satisfactory, but Factorio was the real highlight of the year. I've always loved Rube Goldberg machines, marble runs, stuff like that, and Factorio is the ultimate marble run. Flow some coal and some iron into a couple furnaces, then flow that into gears, and then start a copper mine and start making electronic circuits, and then flash forward 50 hours and you've made the world's most inefficient purple goo dispenser. At least it looks pretty. Atomic Heart posed the question, what if Bioshock was shit? City Skylines 2 dared to ask, is it a bad idea to render every NPC's individual teeth in our city builder? Starfield pondered the biggest question of them all. What's out there? Turns out, not a lot. I actually got some fun out of Starfield, contrary to popular opinion. It's not exactly high art, or even remotely as good as Fallout, but there is some joy to be had in here. You do really have to search for it, though. Do the space pirate missions, they're really good. Not a lot of movies to talk about this time. I barely saw any. Here's the tier list. Spider-Verse was pretty good. John Wick was pretty good. FNAF? The Holdovers was pretty good. But there are 2 TV shows I want to talk about. One of them was Double Fine Psychodyssey. This is a 20-hour-long, 32-episode documentary about the making of Psychonauts 2, and it is fucking incredible. If you're even slightly interested in game design and want to know what the day-to-day life at a studio is like, this is the best peek behind the curtain you're gonna get. It's staggering how in-depth this is, and how honest it is. It doesn't shy away from the less favourable parts of working at a game company. It's presented beautifully, it's got an original soundtrack, and it's 100% free on YouTube. This is why Double Fine are the best. The other one is Twin Peaks, which dared to ask the question, what if David Lynch made EastEnders? Cheesy romance subplots and arguments about land and business sandwiched between some of the most twisted psychological horror put to film. This is a show with Dick Tremaine and this guy. It shouldn't work, and yet it does, and it's brilliant, and season 3 is even better, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever seen. Watch it. Dick. 3 years ago, I said this about Cyberpunk. Could have been amazing, but it's just good instead. Wait a year, then play it. Right now, I would not recommend. So it's been 3 years. CD Projekt Red have patched this thing into oblivion. We've got a new DLC. So it's fixed, right? Idris said it himself.
The game is fixed.
Idris lied. I think this might be more buggy than when I played it at launch, which is a fucking achievement, all things considered. Waypoints often don't work properly, quest items just pop into existence. They still haven't fixed the car in this mission, and oh my god, how have they not? So is it fixed? No. Is it improved? Hell yeah! There's car chases and proper RPG systems and a rideable metro with Johnny Silverhand doing the sad bench pose. This is so much closer to what the game was meant to be at launch. That doesn't mean they should get awards for it. No, Jeff, what are you doing? But it does mean that you should play it because it's really good. CD Projekt Red are the masters of immersive storytelling, of not just telling a story, but making you feel like you're well and truly a part of it. The Witcher 3 gets all the praise in the world for this, but Cyberpunk is arguably better. Almost every single conversation you have in this game feels so real and genuine. Characters aren't just pawns for the story, they're people with so much depth and nuance to the way they're portrayed. Even Johnny Silverhand, a fucking cartoon character of a man,
Oh, fuck.
turns into this incredibly fleshed out and believable person by the end. There's a mission in Phantom Liberty where you play a game of roulette while talking to these twins. You're trying to scan them so you can steal their identity. 3 hours later, you do a different mission where you pretend to be one of these twins and have to bluff through a bunch of dialogue. You only talk to these twins for like 5 minutes, but the characterization is so good that it's a piece of cake to impersonate them. Compare that to like Starfield. Try and mimic this motherfucker. I can't even remember his name. The crown jewel of Cyberpunk is its DLC, and not just because they actually fucking finished it this time. The opening hour of the base game is pretty standard. Nothing to write home about. The opening hour of Phantom Liberty is just non-stop. It hits you over and over again with set pieces and immersive environments, and more set pieces and more immersive environments. And it keeps that pace up for the whole thing. There isn't a single mission in here that's a dud. The final level, at least the one I picked, is ridiculously good. I'm amazed they had the balls to do it. Then I look online to see what the other mission was, and my eyes pop out of my skull, because apparently I was doing the boring one. Even amongst all that, the moments that make Cyberpunk for me are the small ones, where the gameplay takes a back seat to just let you breathe in the world for a little bit. When it all clicks, Night City is one of the most intoxicating worlds you can ever have the pleasure of exploring. Just ignore the bugs.
I think something might have gone wrong here.
I'm still trying to work out what my opinion on Tears of the Kingdom actually is. Depending on what day you catch me on, it'll either be a masterpiece, one of the most magical games of my life, 10 out of 10, if I saw Shigeru Miyamoto on the street, I'd kiss him. Or, yeah, it's pretty good. There's parts of this game that make me feel like I'm floating, and then there's parts that make me feel like I'm wading through mud, waiting for the next interesting thing to arrive. When it's hitting, it is hitting, but sometimes it feels like they forgot to throw the ball. The guy is just standing there. Throw a ball at him for fuck's sake. That first 30 hours though. God damn, what a game. Wondering why it took Nintendo 6 years to make the same game again? Well, this is why. They were cramming it full of every possible idea they could think of. Sky Islands? Hell yeah. Building cars and planes and hot air balloons and a fucking tank. Sure, that sounds cool. Caves? Yeah. Cannons? You bet. A whole other map duct taped to the bottom of the regular map? Normal men would call this feature creep, but Eiji Aonuma is no normal man. I've described some games as a buffet of ideas before, and I think this is the truest form of that. It's like 10 games worth of features crammed into one. It's ridiculous how much is in this thing, and for how long it kept wheeling out the trolley for another helping. Coming back down to earth after a relentless 30-hour-long stream of fresh ideas and mechanics and Ratatouille critic-esque flashbacks to me playing Breath of the Wild 6 years ago, I was constantly begging for that same high again. Of course the rest of the game feels a bit rudimentary. You can't possibly live up to that. Tears of the Kingdom is pure, crystallized magic in the form of a Switch cartridge. It'll make you ascend to the heavens, blow your mind, and then leave you to deal with the hangover. If you told me back in January that one of my favourite games of the year was gonna be an early access, co-op horror roguelike, I'd have gone, nope. And yet, through the power of diabolical sorcery, Zekas has achieved the impossible. Yes! Yes! Lethal Company isn't just slop for your favourite Twitch streamer to lap up like a pig. It's well designed and creative and has a soul. I got you a Prezi. It's genuinely horrifying while also being hilarious, and it somehow balances those two things perfectly. That's not bad. One moment you'll be cackling at a whoopee cushion, and the next you'll be paralysed with fear as a very funny man rounds the corner. Oh, fuck. One moment you'll be jamming with the boys, the next you'll be a corpse. This game is bursting with charm out of every orifice. Oh, what's that? What, one developer made this? Oh, I could tell. There's so many little details that aren't necessary or important, but add so much personality. You buy it for the pants shitting. You stick around for the funny horn. I don't even need to talk about it. You've all played it, or watched someone else play it. Look at you. I know you've been watching YouTube shorts. You've got that glint in your eyes. The glint of shame. I made a whole video about why this game's so good that no one watched. Too long didn't watch? It's good! So I don't know. I don't have anything left to say. There's a mod that lets you watch the entirety of Shrek on the TV. There you go. You're sold yet? I waited 10 years for a new Pikmin game. And I got handed 3 of them. Not that they jumped ahead to Pikmin 6 in the span of a year. No, I'm gonna be dead and buried by the time that hits store shelves. What I mean is that this game is basically 3 in 1. You got a 15-hour campaign, then you hit the credits, then another 15-hour campaign starts up. Then you hit the credits on that, and ooh, what's this? A whole other side game in the style of Pikmin 1? And a brutally hard challenge mode? Oh, you're too kind. This game is a monster. It never ends. It just keeps chugging more and more and more. Here's some time attack challenges, and a tower defense mode, and a disco ball that will kill you. All aboard the Pikmin train, choo-choo! We've even got a cave that has 20 floors and ends with a boss fight against a giant. Pikmin 4 handed me all of that, and by the end I was still begging for more. Please, I need more of these funny little men. That can't be it. If this game lasted 50 hours, 100 hours, 1,000, 1,000,000, I'd have still walked out the other side parched, because Pikmin 4 is that good. A beautiful blend of everything that makes games fun and satisfying. Stressful time management, dopamine, and lots of it, beautiful environments, a bunch of little fellas carrying a bunch of little things, and a very fat dog. I dare you to make a better game. You won't. You can't. Sam Lake, famous game developer, creative director at Remedy Entertainment, face of Max Payne, is hiding in my walls.
It's surprisingly warm.
Or he's hacked into my computer, or he's got my house keys, or he's been stalking me. I don't know, but he's been making notes. Lots of them.
This is good stuff.
He jotted down my favourite game genres, TV shows, the few bits of Control I liked, my weaknesses, my fear of the elderly. He saw me watching Tim and Eric clips on YouTube that one time, and then feverishly legged it back to Finland so he could add a couple Tim and Eric skits into his video game. He must have. There's no reasonable way he could have designed the perfect game for me without having been analysing me for the last 10 years. Look, he's been leaving droppings in the cupboard and everything! Alan Wake 2 is incredibly pretentious. And that's why I love it. This is a game with a non-linear narrative, with multiple levels set in a nightmare dimension, with a plot based on a horror story that the fictional game's author wrote. This is Alex Casey. This is a different Alex Casey. This is the character who plays Alex Casey in the movie Jotun Yo, which is a 20-minute short film entirely in Finnish that you can sit and watch in this video game. This is Max Payne. He isn't Alex Casey and he isn't in this video game, but he is played by the same two guys who played Alex Casey and written by the same guy who wrote both Alex Casey and Alan Wake, so he's basically just Alex Casey. Why does the director of this game play 3 separate characters that are all riffing on a guy he doesn't even have the rights to anymore? Fuck you, that's why! This is Sam Lake's world, and he can do whatever the hell he wants. Here's a cold open where you play as a naked man covered in mud. Enjoy! Out of all the games I played this year, Alan Wake 2 is the one that stuck with me the most. And not just because it's really good, and it's borderline made for me, but because it knows it's good. It's got the cockiness of a Hideo Kojima game, or a film student's indie movie. It doesn't care if you like it or understand what it's going for. Sam Lake does, and that's all that matters. Unlike Control, which felt like it was holding back a lot of its more interesting ideas, so you can run around some corridors for the 18th fucking time, Alan Wake 2 is dishing up interesting ideas by the dozen. Does all of it land? No, but does that matter? It's the spectacle of it, the joy of watching this deranged lunatic dish up more deranged ways to use Tim Sweeney's massive checkbook. All Tim can do is watch in horror. No, you can't do an interactive musical number halfway through your fucking horror game. You can't self-insert yourself 3 fucking times. You can't make a shared universe where the one big piece of connective tissue is a janitor.
Restrain him.
And you can't make him sing. More than anything, I'm just happy that this game exists. Because, fuck. I wish more AAA games were like this. Big, bold, weird, and unabashedly its own thing. Completely confident in its premise and its ability to deliver on the execution. Not every idea here sticks the landing. Not everything comes together as well as it could. But the stuff that does shines so bright, you're gonna be blinded. Surprise! This is actually a top 6 games of 2023 that I quite liked. Introducing the actual game of the year, Half-Life Alyx. Bit late, I'll admit. Alright, this one doesn't count, but if we rewind the clock a bit back to 2020.
Oh boy, Outer Wilds. This was probably my game of the year.
No! I've been jealously eyeing modern VR for years at this point. They're getting state-of-the-art, cutting-edge, immersive experiences and mods that let you turn any game into a VR one. Meanwhile, PSVR is getting fracked. I love VR as a medium, I think it's insanely cool, but the barrier to entry is obscenely high for what you're actually gonna get out of it. Thankfully, Facebook decided to do their first ever good deed. Come one, come all, VR headsets for slightly affordable prices. Just sign here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and you're good to go. Enjoy! So I handed Mark Zuckerberg 200 quid, immediately bought a third-party cable because I'm not giving him any more of my money, and then I bought Half-Life Alyx. And holy shit! I knew I was gonna love it. I had hyped myself up for this moment for the past 4 years. There was no way I wasn't. What's amazing about Half-Life Alyx is that it took one look at my already obscenely high expectations, laughed, and then went, let's do you one better. This is one of the best games I've ever played. And I can't explain why. You watching a video of me playing it doesn't convey what it feels like to play this game. It just doesn't. I can show you me rummaging around in a filing cabinet. I can show you a gunfight. I can show you me climbing into a car, but I can't put across what it feels like to climb into that car. You just have to take my word for it that climbing into that car is one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had playing a game. Do I sound insane? Probably. Would you also sound like a raving lunatic if you played this? Certainly. There's a level of immersion that Half-Life Alyx has that nothing I've ever played comes close to. And not just because I'm in it. I'm the one holding the gun and reloading it and shooting it, but because everything has so much more weight when it's happening right in front of me. This isn't just a guy on a screen talking to Alex Vance, the video game character. It's a guy, a real one, with paws, talking directly to me.
I'm with you every step of the way.
The world isn't just set dressing for gameplay to happen in, or at least it doesn't feel like it. When you can get up close and personal with every little detail and move a barrel out of the way with your bare hands, it starts to make every moment feel all the more real. Valve, for all their faults, can make some truly incredible stuff when they feel like it. There's a magic to the stuff that Valve makes that I can only really compare to Nintendo. No one else can quite capture what makes their games so good. So to be sitting here, or I guess standing here, in the year 2023, playing a new Valve game, not only that, a new Half-Life game, the first new one in 13 years, and then not only that, but having it be in a medium that is almost completely alien to me, where the most basic of interactions feels absolutely mind-blowing. And you've got a recipe for one of the most memorable experiences ever made. If you have even the slightest amount of disposable income, a pretty good computer, and enough space to comfortably move around in, please, God, play this game. I paid 200 quid solely to play this thing, and it was worth every penny.
Worth it.
And the data collection.